Welcome. Brad's house. Nothing special. Just another dump in Long Beach. You know, I call home. Today, let's look at all the junk that I gotta fix. Welcome back, guys. We're not in the garage, we're in my house. And we're working on the pink bike again, or the R6. This is Pumpkin's bike. This is also the 240 car owner. This is her bike. We've done the wheels, we've done the cage kit, we've powder coated a lot of the actual brackets for the foot pedals and stuff, as well as it's got a gear set in it and a chain. We also lowered the bike. When she got the bike and we first got her riding it, she was very uncomfortable with the bike, and because it was so tall, she was tiptoeing. After lowering the bike, she's gotten a lot comfortable with it. And with the cage stuff, she's not afraid of dropping it. We're actually gonna raise it back up now again. So on this video, what you're gonna see, or what we're gonna do today for you, is install an exhaust. And that was kind of like the final piece that we were waiting for. As you guys know, we're all in COVID. These are the COVID days and the COVID times, so it takes forever to get anything done. And we waited a while for this. Thanks, Maya. She couldn't be here tonight. She's got a sister in town. Thank you. Her sister, what is her sister's name?
Marcy.
Marcy. She is actually serving our country, and she is just here for the holidays. Thank you, Marcy, for serving our country. But we're gonna go ahead and tear into our bike. My JDM guy, the guy that I drive that gray Honda in the first video of, he calls me and he's like, Brad, where's the 240? Is it ready to go? Like ready to race? And I'm like, nah, it's blocked in by the 62 Impala that we're doing this, the MS motor on. And he's like, oh, Carlos is, because he knows that Impala, old Impala that I did a 5.3 LS on 10 years ago. And now we're putting a 6.0 in. I'm like, if it wasn't blocked in, I'd be down to pull it out and race you right now. Don't call Maya or nothing. It's not tuned. So this is the exhaust valve that is factory, and it actually has a little flap that bypasses air to go through to make it louder. So a lot of people that are cheap, that don't want to exhaust, they just pull it fucking open like this. We gotta take these cables off, pull these out, and then pull the slip-on off. And then we can get this part out, but we got to pull this part of the fairing off too. So make sure to take these ones out. I have to take that bar out, this bar out right here, but I'm pretty certain I can get this thing off. Took off this whole big outer fairing, and I'm like, I don't see the reason. Yeah, it's not as hard as I thought it was gonna be. Cause she plays that, no, what is it? What is the game she plays? It's like a killing game, but it's, see, I don't know if these backed off, because I could have sworn I tightened them the other way. I could have sworn I tightened these lock nuts this way when we did this, which is not good because that means that backed off. But she wants to lower it, which means we have to back these off anyways. It's a good thing we're going over this too, because like this is right around her 500 mile, you know, checkup after we put everything back together. That's weird that those would have backed all the way off like that on both sides. We're gonna go probably like a 1/2 inch. So we'll do that on both sides, and then bring that nut into that on both of those. Well, we already took the bracket off of this side. We cut it off because it was in the way. There was a bracket right here that went onto this, and we just cut the bracket off the exhaust. You can see right here where it's cut right here, because that bracket bolted to here and it blocked this bolt. And I knew we were getting the exhaust, so we just cut the bracket. All the guys will get mad at me for using my plumber's tool. My favorite. It's not like a baby plumber's tool. Channel Lux. You can carry this little tool, do so much. You're gnawing off the threads. Well, use it on the nut, not the threads one. Alright, so that's how easy those are. Most of the time if you see cables like this, there's probably adjustment back somewhere. And you can use the adjustment to get the cable loose. Bada bing, bada boom. We're gonna take these and zip tie them up out of the way. if you're a racer guy and you wanted to lose your 4 ounces of weight and be that pro biker, you go right ahead and do that. She's doing this for the loudness of the exhaust. And here's where the slip-ons go. So you guys that are doing the slip-ons, you're basically taking these off and then you're undoing this bracket and this bad boy. Wow, I never even loosened that. Look at that.
Oh, that's stock?
That's stock. It's never even been touched. Factory release. Look at this thing. So huge. That isn't as heavy as I thought it was, but I bet you if we compare it to the carbon fiber one, it's a lot. Let me go get the big guy. That was. You found the snacks. Oh, wow. She's a tight one. Problem is now my wrench is so big, you can't even move it too much. Is that good? Fucking just get crazy on it, you will gnaw it up. But if you hold it right, it'll not fuck it up too bad, but it'll work. Oh no, man, this guy is. Oh my god. Okay, we're going for round 6. I really don't want to drop the head off and fight with that down here on the ground. I'd rather be it up there on there. Maybe we'll just bike this way, just so it doesn't come down on my head. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. It is 7/8, you guys. And this is an S&K. This is actually one of my grandfather's wrenches. It's a nice heavy feel. It's got like the thick, like not cheap. That's why it's good to pull on. Alright, so our O2's out. Our back hanger bolt's out. We basically are gonna go digging for these front header bolts, which they made it look like it was super stupid hard to get to. And we looked at them and it's easy, and I'm just gonna use the little 12 woggle. These are kind of expensive. You can get just the regular socket with the woggle behind it. This is a Craftsman. It's probably like 100 years old. So, my rule of thumb is get the hard ones first. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm gonna dive in and try to get this one buried one that's back here. But get the biggest impact you can find and use that. Yeah. If you guys all want to know how to learn how to use tools, you should go to Vin at Hoonigans and watch his Impact series. It's technique. Oh, that's why they want you to take that bracket off. They're like, yeah, there's the radiator bracket's in the way. And I'm like, for what? That one bolt. So that bracket comes off here. That's it. Remove this bracket and oh man, that made that bolt so much easier. Taking that. That's a motorcycle for you. One fucking bolt holds the whole bottom radiator on. One bolt left, two. When you can't see, and then that one is right there. Alright. See, this is where I have to have this bar out because I need the play to go this way. So I need to take that bolt out here in order to take this whole little stupid piece out right here. And then I can take this bar off because I can split the fairing enough to get this bar out. I also want to get some more of these hardware because for some reason I used a different hardware there than I did here, but I like this button head and I don't have any more. So I wonder what happened to that button head. I pulled that out. Oh, nice. This is where I'm tripping on. It's like, what's holding this in? Did I miss a bolt here? Because I thought this just popped out too.
Okay, so you got this off already, right? Okay.
Yeah, I pulled that plastic off. It'll pull out?
Yeah.
Let's pull it out then.
Never pull out, but in this case. Alright.
And you did the cameraman and pulled it out.
What?
Whoa. So that's the was and that's the now.
This is.
147.
I think I got about 100 pounds on you. 253 respectively.
You have 107 pounds on me?
107 pounds on you.
That's gonna be like the difference in the exhaust.
Hold on, we gotta put the muffler on.
So 21.6. 8.8. Less than half its weight. That was 21 and this is 8.
Brad? Cameraman.
Woo! But look at that ginormous jiggy jiggy.
It's like a robot, something. Toaster.
Put these finger dangers on right here.
I found that I like to use either this tool for my springs on like brakes and other things like that, and then I have another one that has a little more of a loop, but the little more of a loop's harder to get out of when you got it sprung in. So little plastic thing on, I know, and I'm like, how does that not melt? That's it. We got to put these spigots on. So see all these spigots? They bolt to the head. So now we can go put all those bolts back on, but we don't have the pipes in the way. Then we're gonna slide this in, and we go from this to these little holes with the springs. They say do not tighten them to where they bend these flanges, because you don't want to like bend them in. That's too tight. I think the trickiest part is going to be hooking the springs onto these holes after we get the flanges all bolted in. Then I think we'll do the same thing, is we'll just tip the bike over and then kind of slide it in here, and then we'll wrestle it back into place. Now the next part about this that I know I see him struggle with a little bit, and we are too, is when we put these pipes on, because they're packaged and they're sad in there, they don't sit, they don't just go right on. You have to do a little wiggling and pushing and pulling. There we go.
Oh, it's so good.
Like this. A twist. Just like that. And bada bing, bada boom. See, now this is where I'm like, I'm tempted to put these springs on before I put this thing on, because this spring goes over on that one. This spring goes on this one. Let that guy hang there, which goes to this guy. This one here, I'm assuming is gonna go to that one. Yeah, because they put, well, it's not, I'm not blaming them, but they put all the holes because they probably generally pop these flanges. That's just, you know, the same. They're a universal flange every way. So you can't put them in wrong. And if I had to do this with those pipes on, oh my God, that'd be a nightmare. Let that guy hang there. So that goes to this dude. So that's those two. Now this one's gonna be this guy here. These springs are gonna be the hardest thing to put on. All right, one more.
Right here.
Nice. Probably one of the worst ones to get to when we have to go tighten it to get it on. I'm almost wondering if I should have put these on the flanges before I put the flanges on. Oh, and I just knocked the other one off.
Oh,
that's right. That one went on too
I
easy.
got that on camera too.
And the rubber came off. I don't know if I'm digging the rubbers. All right. Now, let's not knock the springs off and get the pipes on, and then pull the springs onto the pipe clips. This is the part that I saw most people struggle on this whole thing, and it's just this particular design because it's a multi-piece header. That one looks good. That one looks good. This one here needs to come back and go on. Okay, there we go. That looks good. So what I did is I just put the Allen key, the tool that we're using, in there right now. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap the header into place, you know, tap it into the spigots, I believe it is it's called. That way that they seat in. These springs go down here. This is where, ooh, I just dropped that spring off over there.
Oh shit.
So now I get to get these springs to go on to these clips inside of this fairing, inside of this header. Which, okay, I admit, it's probably gonna be a little difficult, but it's the price you pay for the things you do. That's why they have the header off, or the fairings off, just because these bitches here are. I got the one on this side on. I'll get 2 of them on. The outside 2 will probably be the death of me.
Did it drop?
Yeah, but this one's actually not that hard to get to. Oh no, I think I can get this outside one. Oh, piece of shit. It's right there. Pull this way. The problem is now I get the tip in and I can't roll the tip out of the hook. But now maybe if I just pull with this, pull down and fucking hook it, might be easier. Ooh, this isn't even just a weird, what's it called? Oh, turn to do it. I did it right there. See how I did that?
Yep.
That's how I used to do them, but you don't always get that. That doesn't always work like that. So now let's get a bracket for the this chingaderi in here.
Why missed it?
She missed all the fun again. I think she's like, my cousin Tommy, he's good at this. He's like, hey, we got this project, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. He gets all the material, gets all the tools. Then he calls his dad and somebody else and he drinks beers and watches them work.
Oh,
got you, cousin Tommy.
My brother does that.
He's good like that?
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this bracket's being a nightmare. Well, what's happened is like, I'm gonna push the radiator in because it's, and then the other part is, how do I get this bolt back on? I'm actually gonna take that bracket off that way, then reach in this way. It's kind of nice. See, like, my hand can go in. There it goes. This is where the baby finger helps. Everybody said the baby finger is a weakness. No. See the baby finger? Right. Tighten those 2 tins up. Get this nose thing in the first hardware. And we are looking solid. That wasn't really that bad. It was just trying to figure out how to get that springs, I think, were the hardest. The one bolt on the outside was a bit difficult when we were taking it apart, but that wasn't nearly as hard as the springs. The springs, I feel like, gave us the biggest headache for this whole thing. I think I'm gonna take no extension. I'm gonna reach into the hole. That's the only way to do that. Yeah, so that's how hard that was. It was just the one peg. I'm gonna be severely monetized for everything. Can guarantee
Poor
that.
Brad.
Keep the man down. You think you can make $1, you're gonna get monetized. Or demonetized. I'm sorry, demonetized.
Yep.
Okay, for an example of a crew that has crazy ass builds and it's construction workers, go look at Tarek Crew. Hopefully someday when the Tacoma's finished, I'll be cool enough to hang out with those guys. Not like the Tacoma's anywhere close to what their builds are, but they're insane. I would say 99% of those guys have something to do with construction. Cement, concrete, framers, plumbers, electricians. This group of people are off-road trucks. They go through the desert at 100,
What?
120 miles per hour. Now that bolt seems short. There's a spacer there that I think they want to use there, but the hardware they have, is this longer? So I think that is the guy.
So what are these again?
Those cables there go to the valve that shuts on and shuts off the exhaust. Because before it had like an electric exhaust valve that when you went into full throttle, it would open up an air valve and allow more exhaust out. Okay, so this should be that guy. And that gets this guy.
But before we tighten that guy, I need to put this one in. So now we only have, besides fighting my Amazon Prime wrenches off, we have the fairings to put on. Shut up, that's it. This weird one goes here. The other weird one goes on the other side. I don't know where that one goes. I know where these go. I gotta figure out where these last ones go. Oh, you know what? Some of these go on that shield that was on the,
oh yeah.
that doesn't go on anymore. That's an O2 block off. It should throw fire though. Every time I've seen him put on this exhaust when it backfires, it has such a cold air intake now that it backfires. That's like standard operating issue, right? You buy these bikes, like,
Yeah.
you know how much Subaru would sell an auction package if they offered just the pop, pop, pop button? You can just pull in and it's like, I'm not actually a firm believer of it, dude, of the two-step yet. My car's so light, it doesn't really need it. I personally think it fucks the shit out of the motor. Yeah, this one's a nightmare. That shit is done. Should we FaceTime Maya?
Oh yeah, you should. She's not gonna answer?
Not gonna answer. She's busy. Oh well.
Well, we tried. Now let's listen to her roar.
Oh no.
This is R6 poo-poo. That's it! That's done. Proof's in the pudding, bitches. There you go. Now it's time to do some more fuckboy shit on the 240. We got all sorts of gauges for the 240, AFR, fuel pressure, boost, tack, water, oil pressure. We're gonna get all that installed. New Detroit connectors, buttons for that poppy sound and the nitrous, boost control, Mac valve for boost control. So more videos coming.